What if I told you that every single science fiction movie about humanity colonizing other galaxies is based on a fundamental lie? What if the very laws of physics that govern our universe have already sentenced us to an eternal prison? A prison 100,000 light years wide, spinning through space at 2.1 million kilometers per hour? Right now, as you're watching this video, you're trapped. Not just on Earth, not just in our solar system, but in something far more vast and inescapable. The Milky Way Galaxy isn't our cosmic neighborhood, it's our cosmic death sentence. Here's what will blow your mind. Even if we develop technology that could travel at 99.9% the speed of light, even if we mastered wormholes and bent space-time itself to our will, we would still be prisoners. The universe itself is conspiring against us, and it's winning. Before we dive into this mind-bending journey, smash that like button if you're ready to have your understanding of reality completely shattered. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see your place in the cosmos forever. And I'm curious, from which country are you watching this video, and what time is it where you are? Drop that in the comments, because understanding our cosmic prison is a global realization we're all sharing together. Let's start with what seems simple, but will soon become terrifying. Think of the Milky Way like a massive cosmic city with 400 billion star buildings. Our solar system? It's just one tiny apartment on the outer edge in what astronomers call the galactic suburbs. But here's the twist that most people don't realize. This isn't a city you can ever leave. To understand why, we need to grasp just how mind-bogglingly huge our galaxy really is. If you could travel at the speed of light, the absolute cosmic speed limit set by Einstein's equations, it would take you 100,000 years just to cross from one side to the other. But here's where it gets interesting. Light doesn't experience time. From a photon's perspective, that 100,000-year journey happens instantaneously. Yet for us, bound by the cruel laws of physics, those 100,000 years would be very, very real. The closest major galaxy to us is Andromeda, sitting 2.5 million light years away. To put this in perspective, if the Milky Way was the size of a dinner plate, Andromeda would be another dinner plate sitting 20 feet away. That gap? It's not empty space. It's an ocean of dark matter, cosmic radiation, an expanding space-time that's actively working against anyone trying to cross it. But distance is just the beginning of our problems. The universe has far more sinister ways of keeping us locked in place. And they all stem from discoveries made by 3 brilliant scientists whose work revealed the true nature of our cosmic prison. Here's what will absolutely blow your mind. While you've been watching this video, every galaxy outside our local group has moved approximately 100 kilometers further away from us. Not because they're traveling through space, but because space itself is expanding. In 1929, Edwin Hubble made a discovery that changed everything. Using the 100-inch telescope at Mount Wilson Observatory, he observed distant galaxies and found something shocking. They were all moving away from us, and the further away they were, the faster they were receding. This wasn't just movement through space. This was space itself, stretching like a balloon being inflated. Think of it like this. Imagine you're an ant on the surface of a balloon that's being slowly inflated. You want to reach another ant on the far side of the balloon. But as you start your journey, the balloon keeps expanding, stretching the distance between you and your destination. No matter how fast you run, if the balloon expands faster than you can travel, you'll never reach the other ant. You're not just fighting distance. You're fighting the very fabric of reality. This is exactly what's happening to us on a cosmic scale. The Hubble constant, approximately 70 kilometers per second per megaparsec, tells us that for every 3.26 million light years of distance, space expands at 70 kilometers per second. This means that galaxies beyond a certain distance, called the Hubble radius, are receding from us faster than light can travel toward them. But here's the truly terrifying part that keeps me awake at night. This expansion is accelerating. In 1998, Saul Perlmutter, Brian Schmidt, and Adam Rees discovered dark energy by studying distant supernova. They found that the expansion of the universe isn't just continuing, it's speeding up. This discovery was so shocking, so contrary to what physicists expected, that it earned them the Nobel Prize in 2011. What this means is that galaxies we can see today will eventually disappear from view forever. They'll cross what's called the cosmic event horizon, beyond which no information can ever reach us again. We're not just trapped in our galaxy, we're trapped in a shrinking bubble of observable space that's getting smaller every moment. And if you think this sounds like science fiction, here's something you can verify yourself. Go outside on a clear night and look at the great galaxy in Andromeda. It's visible to the naked eye as a faint smudge. That light left Andromeda 2.5 million years ago. By the time any signal we send today could reach them, they'll be so far away that our message will be redshifted into nothingness, stretched into invisibility by the expanding universe. Are you starting to see the scope of our prison? Because we're just getting started. What if I told you that the speed of light minus 299,792,458 meters per second isn't just a cosmic speed limit, but the universe's way of ensuring we never escape our galactic boundaries? Albert Einstein's special relativity, published in 1905, didn't just revolutionize physics. It revealed the fundamental architecture of our cosmic cage. Here's the mind-bending truth. The speed of light isn't actually about light at all. It's the speed of causality itself, a maximum rate at which cause and effect can propagate through space-time. Nothing with mass can reach this speed because doing so would require infinite energy. And here's what will blow your mind. This isn't a technological limitation we might overcome someday. This is a fundamental property of reality itself. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to push a shopping cart, but with each step forward, the cart becomes exponentially heavier. At first, it's easy. But as you approach a certain speed, the cart becomes as heavy as a car, then a building, then a planet. At the speed of light, that shopping cart would have infinite mass. The universe literally conspires to make faster-than-light travel impossible by making it require infinite energy. But let's say we somehow solved the energy problem. Let's say we built a spacecraft that could travel at 99.9% the speed of light, an incredible feat of engineering that would dwarf every human achievement combined. How long would it take to reach our nearest galactic neighbor? To Andromeda, 2.5 million years of ship time, during which Earth would age several million years due to time dilation effects. To the edge of our galaxy, 100,000 years. To any meaningful destination beyond our local group, longer than human civilization has existed. And here's the truly cruel twist discovered by Einstein. Even if we could somehow travel at light speed, time dilation would mean that the universe we left behind would age catastrophically during our journey. Travel to Andromeda at light speed, and Earth would experience millions of years while you experienced none. You'd arrive to find a completely alien universe, assuming Earth even still existed. Hermann Minkowski, Einstein's former mathematics professor, captured this beautifully in 1908 when he said, "Henceforth space by itself and time by itself are doomed to fade away into mere shadows, and only a kind of union of the two will preserve an independent reality." What he was describing wasn't just a mathematical curiosity, it was the bars of our cosmic prison. But what if we could find a loophole? What if Einstein was wrong about something? Let me tell you about the scientists who tried to break us out of this prison and why they ultimately failed. In 1935, Einstein himself, along with Nathan Rosen, published a paper that seemed to offer hope for escaping our galactic prison. They described what became known as Einstein-Rosen bridges, theoretical tunnels through spacetime that could connect distant regions of the universe. Science fiction latched onto these wormholes as humanity's ticket to galactic freedom. Here's what will blow your mind. Wormholes might actually exist. The mathematics of general relativity not only allows them, but in some solutions requires them. But here's the cruel twist that will shatter your science fiction dreams. Every naturally occurring wormhole would slam shut the moment anything tried to pass through it. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to keep a tunnel open in wet sand at the beach. The moment you stop actively supporting the walls, they collapse. Wormholes face the same problem, but instead of sand, they're fighting against the fundamental structure of space-time itself. Kip Thorne, the brilliant physicist who won the Nobel Prize in 2017 for detecting gravitational waves, spent decades studying wormholes. His calculations revealed something devastating. To keep a wormhole open long enough for a spaceship to pass through would require exotic matter, matter with negative energy density. Not just a little bit of it, but an amount roughly equivalent to the mass energy of an entire star, but with negative properties. Here's the problem. We've never found exotic matter anywhere in the universe. It might not even exist. And even if it does exist, concentrating that much exotic matter in one place might violate quantum mechanics in ways that make wormhole travel impossible anyway. But let's imagine we somehow solved the exotic matter problem. We've built our wormhole, and we're ready to travel to another galaxy. Here's what happens. The moment our spacecraft approaches the wormhole entrance, it encounters what physicists call the firewall paradox. Quantum effects near the wormhole throat create a region of space so energetically violent that any matter attempting to pass through would be incinerated instantly. Stephen Hawking, in his final years, worked on this exact problem. His calculations suggested that the information paradox, the quantum mechanical requirement that information cannot be destroyed, might make traversable wormholes fundamentally impossible. The universe seems designed to prevent us from using shortcuts through spacetime. And even if we somehow solved all these problems, here's the final cruel twist. A wormhole connecting our galaxy to another would still be subject to cosmic expansion. As the universe expands, maintaining the connection would require ever-increasing amounts of exotic matter. Eventually, even our miraculous wormhole would be stretched beyond the breaking point. The mathematics is beautiful, the physics is elegant, but the conclusion is inescapable. Wormholes aren't our escape route. They're just another mirage in our cosmic desert. But surely there must be some way out? What about the most advanced propulsion concepts ever imagined? Let's talk about the Alcubierre drive, humanity's most sophisticated attempt to cheat the speed of light limit. In 1994, physicist Miguel Alcubierre published a paper that seemed to offer a loophole in Einstein's cosmic prison. Instead of moving faster than light, why not compress space in front of your spacecraft and expand it behind you, creating a warp bubble that could carry you across the galaxy? Here's what will blow your mind. The Alcubierre drive doesn't violate relativity at all. From the perspective of the spacecraft, you're never actually moving. Space itself is doing the moving around you. It's like being on a cosmic escalator, where the escalator moves faster than light, but you're just standing still on it. The mathematics work perfectly. Too perfectly, in fact. When Harold White at NASA calculated the energy requirements for an Alcubierre drive in 2012, he found something that should terrify anyone dreaming of galactic travel. You would need negative energy, equivalent to the mass of Jupiter, just to create a warp bubble the size of the Voyager spacecraft. Think of it like this. Imagine you want to create a bubble in a swimming pool that moves faster than waves can travel through water. You'd need to manipulate the water itself on a massive scale, creating compression and rarefaction waves that require enormous energy. Now imagine doing this not with water, but with the fabric of space-time itself across interstellar distances. But here's where it gets truly mind-bending. Even if we somehow acquired that much exotic matter, roughly 1064 joules of negative energy, Creating the warp bubble would face quantum mechanical limitations. That might make the entire concept impossible. Sergio Sagnotti and other theoretical physicists have shown that quantum field theory places fundamental limits on how much spacetime can be curved in the ways required for warp drive. It's not just an engineering challenge. It might be physically impossible within the laws of physics as we understand them. And even if we solve the energy problem and the quantum limitations, here's the final devastating blow. A warp drive would still be limited by causality. You couldn't use it to travel faster than information can travel, which brings us right back to the speed of light limit we were trying to escape. But what about more conventional propulsion? Surely we could build something fast enough to at least reach nearby stars within a human lifetime? This brings us to the Tsiolkovsky rocket equation, a mathematical formula that reveals just how trapped we really are. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky derived this equation in 1903, decades before we even had practical rockets. It tells us the fundamental relationship between rocket mass, fuel mass, and achievable velocity. And what it reveals about interstellar travel will crush your dreams of galactic exploration. To accelerate a 1-ton spacecraft to just 10% the speed of light using the most efficient propulsion we can imagine, matter-antimatter annihilation, you would need approximately 165 tons of antimatter fuel. But here's the killer. We currently produce about 10 nanograms of antimatter per year at CERN, at a cost of roughly $2.7 trillion per gram. At current production rates and costs, gathering enough antimatter to fuel a single interstellar probe would take approximately 16 billion years and cost more money than has ever existed in human history. By that time, the sun will have already expanded into a red giant and incinerated the Earth. We're not just fighting distance and time, we're fighting the fundamental mathematics of energy and motion. Every equation, every physical law, every constraint of reality is working against us. Here's what will blow your mind and possibly keep you awake for the next several nights. While we've been discussing the impossibility of escaping our galaxy, the universe has been plotting something far worse. Dark energy isn't just preventing us from reaching other galaxies. It's going to tear apart the very fabric of space and time. In 1998, when Saul Perlmutter's team discovered that cosmic expansion was accelerating, they unleashed one of the most terrifying revelations in the history of science. Dark energy makes up 68% of all energy in the universe, yet we have no idea what it is. We only know what it does. It pushes space apart with ever-increasing violence. Think of it like this. Imagine you're in a room where the walls are slowly moving outward. At first, the expansion is gentle, barely noticeable. But with each passing moment, the expansion accelerates. The walls move outward faster and faster, until eventually they're moving away from you at light speed, then faster than light speed. Eventually, the expansion becomes so violent that it tears apart the molecular bonds holding the walls together. This is exactly what's happening to our universe, and the timeline is more terrifying than most people realize. Current calculations suggest that in approximately 22 billion years, dark energy will become so dominant that it will overcome all other forces in the universe. First, galaxy clusters will be torn apart, and individual galaxies, then solar systems. Eventually, even atoms themselves will be ripped apart in what cosmologists call the Big Rip. But here's the truly mind-bending part. This process has already begun. Every second that passes, dark energy grows stronger relative to matter and radiation. We're not just trapped in our galaxy. We're trapped in a universe that's actively destroying itself. Sean Carroll, a theoretical physicist at Caltech, has calculated that we're living during an extraordinarily special time in cosmic history. For most of the universe's future, dark energy will dominate so completely that no new structures can form. No new stars, no new planets, no new life. We exist during a brief cosmic summer before an eternal winter of expansion and decay. And here's what will absolutely shatter your perception of our cosmic significance. Even if we somehow developed godlike technology and learned to harness the energy of entire galaxies, we would still be powerless against dark energy. It operates on scales and with mechanisms that dwarf even our most ambitious technological fantasies. The local group, our gravitational neighborhood containing the Milky Way, Andromeda, and about 80 smaller galaxies, is held together by gravity strongly enough to resist cosmic expansion for now. But now is a cosmic eye blink. As dark energy continues to strengthen, even the local group will eventually be torn apart. This means that not only will we never reach distant galaxies, those galaxies will eventually become unreachable even by light itself. They'll disappear beyond the cosmic horizon, leaving us in an island universe that grows smaller and more isolated with each passing eon. Are you starting to feel the true scope of our predicament? Because we're about to explore how this affects you personally, right now, in ways you never imagined. What if I told you that even if we solved every problem we've discussed so far, energy, distance, time, dark energy, there's still a fundamental aspect of reality that would prevent us from ever truly leaving our galaxy. Welcome to the quantum mechanical prison that exists at the very foundation of reality itself. Werner Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, formulated in 1927, reveals something profound about the nature of reality. You cannot know both the precise position and momentum of any particle simultaneously. But here's the mind-bending implication for galactic travel that most people never consider. This isn't just a measurement problem. It's a fundamental limit on how precisely you can navigate through space. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to throw a dart at a target 2.5 million light-years away, the distance to Andromeda. The uncertainty principle tells us that the more precisely you know where your dart is, the less precisely you can know where it's going. Over interstellar distances, this quantum fuzziness becomes devastating. Max Born, who won the Nobel Prize for his work on quantum mechanics, showed us that reality itself is probabilistic at its core. Every particle in your spacecraft, every photon in your navigation system, every quantum interaction in your computers, they're all subject to random fluctuations that compound over cosmic distances and time frames. But here's where it gets truly terrifying. Quantum mechanics doesn't just affect navigation, it affects the very stability of matter itself over cosmic time frames. Protons, the building blocks of atomic nuclei, are predicted to decay with a half-life of approximately 1,034 years. That's unimaginably longer than the current age of the universe. But it means that any journey lasting millions of years would face the gradual disintegration of the spacecraft itself at the quantum level. And here's something that will blow your mind. Recent discoveries in quantum field theory suggest that the vacuum of space itself might not be stable. If our current vacuum state is actually a false vacuum, then somewhere in the universe, a bubble of true vacuum might spontaneously form and expand at the speed of light, destroying everything in its path by rewriting the fundamental laws of physics. This isn't science fiction. This is cutting-edge theoretical physics. Physicists like Sidney Coleman at Harvard have calculated that vacuum decay could happen anywhere, anytime, with no warning. The expanding bubble of doom would be invisible until the moment it arrived, rewriting the fundamental constants of nature and making all matter as we know it impossible. If this sounds terrifyingly random, that's because it is. The universe operates on quantum mechanical principles that are fundamentally probabilistic. Every moment you exist, every breath you take, every thought you think, they're all quantum mechanical miracles that could theoretically cease to function if the right quantum fluctuation occurred. But here's the truly mind-bending part. Even our attempts to escape these quantum limitations through technology face the same quantum constraints. Quantum computers, quantum communication, quantum propulsion, they're all bound by the same uncertainty principles and probabilistic limitations that trap us in the first place. This is the deepest level of our cosmic prison. We're not just trapped by distance or energy or time. We're trapped by the probabilistic, uncertain, fundamentally random nature of reality itself. Now I want you to stop for a moment and really absorb what this means for you personally. Right now, as you're watching this video, you're sitting on a rock that's spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, orbiting a star at 67,000 miles per hour, in a galaxy that's rotating at 514,000 miles per hour, in a universe that's expanding at an ever-accelerating rate. And despite all this cosmic motion, you will never, ever leave this galaxy. But here's what I find absolutely beautiful about our situation. This isn't a limitation. It's the most profound form of significance imaginable. Think about it this way. Every atom in your body was forged in the nuclear fires of stars that lived and died billions of years ago. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you're breathing right now, all of it was created in stellar furnaces and scattered across space by supernova. You are literally made of star stuff, as Carl Sagan so beautifully put it. And here's the truly mind-blowing part. Those atoms, those stellar fragments that make up your body, have been trapped in this galaxy for billions of years. They've witnessed the formation of solar systems, the birth and death of countless stars, the evolution of planets and moons and asteroids. You're not just a human being. You're a temporary arrangement of cosmic matter that carries the history of our entire galaxy within your very atoms. But here's what makes your existence even more significant. Out of the 400 billion stars in our galaxy, out of the potentially trillions of planets, out of the unimaginable number of possible arrangements of matter and energy, here you are, conscious, aware, capable of understanding the very cosmic forces that imprison us. The universe spent 13.8 billion years arranging matter and energy in just the right way to create you. Every cosmic event, every stellar explosion, every gravitational interaction had to happen exactly as it did to bring you into existence at this precise moment in cosmic history. You're not just trapped in the galaxy, you're the galaxy's way of understanding itself. And here's something that should fill you with wonder rather than despair. You exist during the only period in cosmic history when the universe is comprehensible. Earlier than now, and the cosmos was too hot and chaotic for complex structures to form. Later than now, and dark energy will have isolated us so completely that most of the universe will be invisible. You live during the universe's brief moment of peak complexity and understanding. This means that your consciousness, your ability to contemplate these cosmic questions, is one of the rarest and most precious things in existence. You're not an insignificant speck in a vast, uncaring universe. You're the universe's fleeting attempt at self-awareness. Here's the revelation that reframes everything we've discussed. Our cosmic imprisonment isn't a bug in the universe's design. It's a feature. The same forces that trap us in our galaxy are the forces that made us possible in the first place. The speed of light limit that prevents us from reaching other galaxies? It's also what prevents causality from breaking down, maintaining the stable flow of time that allows complex structures like stars, planets, and life to exist. Without this cosmic speed limit, the universe would be chaos, a place where effects could precede causes and nothing stable could ever form. The vast distances between galaxies that make intergalactic travel impossible. They're also what allowed galaxies to form as distinct, gravitationally bound structures in the first place. If galaxies were closer together, their gravitational interactions would prevent the stable stellar evolution necessary for life. Dark energy, the force that's pushing galaxies apart and will eventually tear apart the very fabric of space. It's also what prevented the universe from collapsing back in on itself billions of years ago. Without dark energy, the universe would have experienced a big crunch long before stars could form, planets could cool, or life could evolve. Even the quantum mechanical uncertainties that make precise navigation impossible over cosmic distances, they're what prevent atoms from collapsing, what make chemical bonds possible, what allow the complex molecular interactions that create life. Without quantum uncertainty, matter itself couldn't exist in the forms necessary for consciousness. This is the most beautiful and terrifying truth about our cosmic situation. We exist because we're trapped. Our imprisonment is the very foundation of our existence. But here's where our story takes its most mind-bending turn. What if our inability to leave the galaxy isn't actually a limitation at all? What if it's pointing us towards something far more profound than physical travel? Consider this. Right now, through the power of your consciousness and human technology, you can observe galaxies billions of light years away. You can study their structure, understand their evolution, predict their futures. Through the Hubble Space Telescope, the James Webb Space Telescope, and ground-based observatories, humanity has already visited thousands of galaxies without ever leaving Earth's surface. Think about what this means. Your mind, sitting in your physical body, trapped on this tiny planet in the outer reaches of one galaxy, can comprehend structures containing hundreds of billions of stars, separated by millions of light years of space. You can understand the life cycles of galaxies, the formation of supermassive black holes, the distribution of dark matter across cosmic scales. In a very real sense, your consciousness has already escaped the galaxy. Not physically, but intellectually and spiritually. You've transcended the limitations of your biological form to touch the infinite. And here's what will absolutely blow your mind. This type of transcendence might be the only type that's actually meaningful. Physical travel to another galaxy would just move your atoms from one place to another. But intellectual transcendence, the ability to understand and appreciate the cosmos through consciousness, that transforms you into something greater than the sum of your particles. Ancient philosophers intuited this truth thousands of years before we understood the physics of cosmic imprisonment. The Stoics spoke of the view from above, the ability to transcend your immediate circumstances through the power of rational thought. Buddhist and Hindu traditions speak of consciousness as fundamental to reality itself, not just an emergent property of complex matter. What if they were pointing toward the real escape route all along? What if consciousness, not technology, is how intelligent beings transcend the limitations of physical existence? This brings us to one of the most profound questions in science. Where is everybody else? If the universe contains billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars and potentially trillions of planets, why haven't we encountered any evidence of other intelligent civilizations? The physicist Enrico Fermi first posed this question in 1950, and it's become known as the Fermi paradox. But I think our discussion of cosmic imprisonment reveals the answer. Every intelligent civilization faces the same physical constraints we do. Every species that evolves consciousness discovers the same terrible truth. They're trapped in their galaxy forever. But here's the beautiful part. Maybe that's exactly what's supposed to happen. Maybe consciousness isn't meant to spread physically across the universe. Maybe it's meant to deepen and expand within the cosmic boundaries where it evolved. Think about it this way. Instead of becoming a galaxy-spanning civilization, what if the natural evolution of intelligence is to become a galaxy-understanding civilization? Instead of physically colonizing other star systems, what if advanced civilizations turn inward, using their intelligence to comprehend ever deeper layers of reality? This could explain why we don't see evidence of vast galactic empires. Maybe truly advanced civilizations have realized that the real frontier isn't space, it's consciousness itself. Maybe they've discovered ways to transcend physical limitations, not through technology, but through pure understanding. And here's what makes this possibility incredibly hopeful. If this is true, then humanity isn't behind in some cosmic race to colonize the galaxy. We're exactly where we should be, doing exactly what intelligence is meant to do, using our brief moment of consciousness to understand and appreciate the universe that created us. Let's zoom out to the biggest picture possible. We've established that you'll never leave this galaxy. Neither will your children, or their children, or any human descendant for as long as our species exists. The laws of physics have written our cosmic address in permanent ink, Milky Way Galaxy, forever and always. But what if this is the most meaningful thing that could possibly be true? Here's a thought experiment. Imagine if intergalactic travel were easy. Imagine if we could hop from galaxy to galaxy like islands in a cosmic archipelago. What would that universe actually be like? It would be a universe where nothing was special, where no place had meaning, where consciousness could endlessly flee from one location to another without ever having to confront the deeper questions of existence. It would be a universe of infinite distraction, infinite escape, infinite avoidance of the profound questions that consciousness is meant to explore. Instead, we live in a universe that forces consciousness to go deep rather than wide. We can't escape to other galaxies, so we're compelled to explore the infinite depths of the galaxy we inhabit. We can't flee to other cosmic neighborhoods, so we must find meaning and purpose in the cosmic neighborhood we call home. And what a neighborhood it is! Our galaxy contains red giants with diameters larger than Earth's orbit. It contains neutron stars so dense that a teaspoon of their matter would weigh 6 billion tons. It contains stellar nurseries where new suns are being born, and stellar graveyards where the remains of ancient stars create elements never before seen. Our galaxy contains potentially billions of Earth-like planets, some of which might harbor life we've never imagined. It contains supermassive black holes that warp space and time in ways that challenge our understanding of reality itself. It contains dark matter structures that outweigh all the visible matter by 5 to 1, composed of particles we haven't even discovered yet. In other words, our cosmic prison is also the most amazing, complex, beautiful, and mysterious place we could possibly be trapped. We're not imprisoned in a cell. We're imprisoned in paradise, with billions of lifetimes worth of wonders to explore and understand. Here's the most profound realization of all. By accepting our cosmic imprisonment, we don't become smaller. We become infinitely larger. When you truly understand that you'll never leave this galaxy, something remarkable happens to your perspective on existence. You stop seeing yourself as a temporary biological entity seeking escape from limitations. You start seeing yourself as a permanent part of the galaxy's ongoing evolution toward consciousness and understanding. You're not just in the galaxy. You are the galaxy, awakening to itself. Think about this. For the first 13 billion years of its existence, our galaxy was unconscious. Stars formed and died. Planets coalesced and were destroyed. Complex molecules assembled and disassembled, all without any awareness of their own existence. The galaxy was like a vast, beautiful machine operating without any understanding of its own purpose or meaning. Then, approximately 4 billion years ago, on one small planet orbiting an ordinary star, something extraordinary happened. Matter organized itself into patterns complex enough to become aware of themselves. Life emerged, evolved, and eventually produced consciousness. For the first time in cosmic history, the galaxy became capable of knowing itself. And now here you are, the current pinnacle of that evolutionary process. Through your consciousness, the galaxy can contemplate its own existence, understand its own structure, predict its own future. You are literally the universe awakening to itself. This isn't poetic metaphor. It's scientific fact. The atoms in your brain were forged in stellar cores. The energy powering your thoughts comes from fusion reactions in the sun. The information you process about the cosmos comes from photons that have traveled across vast distances to reach your eyes. You are an intricate part of the galaxy's physical structure, evolved specifically to understand that structure. When you learn about black holes, the galaxy is learning about black holes through you. When you contemplate the meaning of existence, the cosmos is contemplating its own meaning through your consciousness. When you feel wonder at the beauty of a nebula or the elegance of a physical law, the universe is experiencing wonder at its own beauty and elegance. This is why our cosmic imprisonment is actually our cosmic significance. We're not meant to escape the galaxy. We're meant to be the galaxy's way of understanding itself. We're not separate from the cosmos trying to explore it from the outside. We are the cosmos, evolved to the point of self-awareness. If we can't go outward to other galaxies, where does that leave us? The answer is both simple and profound. We go inward into the infinite depths of consciousness, complexity, and understanding. Consider what humanity has accomplished in just a few centuries since we developed scientific thinking. We've discovered the fundamental particles that make up matter. We've decoded the genetic instructions that create life. We've mapped the structure of space-time itself. We've built machines that can process information faster than any biological brain and created artworks that capture emotions no other species can experience. And we're just getting started. While we're trapped by the laws of physics from leaving our galaxy, those same laws of physics place no limits on the complexity of consciousness we can develop. We can build computers more powerful than anything that has ever existed. We can engineer life forms more sophisticated than anything evolution has produced. We can create artworks, music, literature, and ideas more beautiful and profound than anything in our galaxy's 13 billion-year history. Think about the trajectory of human knowledge. A few thousand years ago, we didn't even know that other stars were suns. A few hundred years ago, we didn't know that other galaxies existed. A few decades ago, we didn't know that most of the universe is made of dark matter and dark energy. Today, we're beginning to understand consciousness itself, the very thing that makes understanding possible. Where does this trajectory lead? Not outward to other galaxies, but inward to ever deeper comprehension of the reality we inhabit. We might discover the true nature of consciousness itself, how subjective experience emerges from objective matter. We might learn to create forms of intelligence that dwarf our current capabilities while remaining fundamentally compassionate and wise. We might unlock the secrets of quantum mechanics and discover that reality is far stranger and more beautiful than we ever imagined. We might learn to manipulate matter and energy in ways that seem magical today, creating technologies that transform our galaxy into something approaching paradise. And here's the most mind-bending possibility. We might discover that consciousness is not just an accidental byproduct of complex matter, but a fundamental feature of reality itself. If so, then our role as the galaxy's conscious observers isn't just important, it's essential to the very structure of existence. Recent developments in quantum mechanics suggest that observation itself might play a fundamental role in determining reality. The act of conscious measurement appears to collapse quantum wave functions, determining which of many possible outcomes actually occurs. If this interpretation is correct, then consciousness isn't just observing the universe, it's actively participating in creating it. This would mean that every moment of awareness, every act of understanding, every flash of insight you experience is literally helping to create the reality around you. Your consciousness isn't separate from the cosmos. It's one of the primary forces shaping cosmic evolution. Here's what will blow your mind about the ultimate implications of our cosmic imprisonment. By being unable to spread physically across the universe, consciousness is forced to become more concentrated, more refined, more powerful within the boundaries where it exists. Think of it like this. If consciousness could easily spread across infinite galaxies, it might become infinitely dilute, spread so thin that it loses its power and significance. But trapped within galactic boundaries, consciousness is forced to intensify, to develop depth rather than breadth, to become qualitatively rather than quantitatively infinite. This is already happening with human consciousness. We can't physically visit the Andromeda Galaxy, but through mathematics and physics, we can understand it more completely than we understand our own neighborhoods. We can predict its future collision with the Milky Way, map its spiral structure, estimate the mass of its central black hole. In terms of knowledge and understanding, we've already colonized Andromeda. And this kind of intellectual colonization has no speed of light limits, no energy requirements, no exotic matter constraints. It's limited only by the depth and creativity of consciousness itself. The further we develop our understanding, the more of the universe becomes accessible to us through pure thought. But here's the truly profound part. This intellectual accessibility might be more meaningful than physical accessibility ever could be. When you physically visit a place, you experience only its surface properties, how it looks, feels, sounds. But when you understand a place through consciousness and scientific knowledge, you experience its deep structure, how it formed, why it behaves as it does, how it connects to everything else in existence. Through consciousness, you can experience the nuclear fusion occurring in stellar cores, understand the curvature of space-time around black holes, appreciate the quantum mechanical dance of particles in interstellar space. You can know these things more intimately than any physical traveler ever could, because you understand not just what they are, but why they must be exactly as they are. This suggests something extraordinary. Maybe consciousness is the universe's solution to the problem of cosmic isolation. Maybe every galaxy develops conscious observers who can transcend physical limitations through understanding, creating a cosmic network of awareness that spans the universe without violating any physical laws. If so, then our cosmic imprisonment isn't a bug, it's the most elegant feature imaginable. Here's where our story takes its most mind-bending turn yet. Recent discoveries in quantum mechanics suggest that consciousness might not be as trapped as we think. Not because we can escape physically, but because consciousness itself might be quantum mechanically connected across cosmic distances. In 1964, John Stuart Bell proved one of the most shocking theorems in physics. Quantum entanglement allows particles to be instantly correlated across arbitrary distances. When two particles become entangled, measuring one instantly affects the other, regardless of how far apart they are. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance and spent years trying to disprove it. But experiment after experiment has confirmed that quantum entanglement is real. Now here's the mind-blowing question. If particles can be quantum entangled across cosmic distances, what about the quantum processes in conscious brains? What if consciousness itself can become entangled across the universe? This isn't just wild speculation. Physicists like Henry Stapp at UC Berkeley and Stuart Hameroff at the University of Arizona have proposed that consciousness might arise from quantum mechanical processes in the brain. If consciousness has a quantum component, then it might be subject to quantum entanglement effects. Think about what this could mean. Every time you have a conscious thought about a distant galaxy, you might be quantum mechanically interacting with that galaxy. Every moment of cosmic awareness might create entanglement, links that transcend the speed of light limitations that trap our physical bodies. If this is true, then consciousness isn't imprisoned by cosmic distances at all. Through the mysterious connections of quantum entanglement, your awareness might already be touching every galaxy in the observable universe. Your thoughts about cosmic structures might be creating instantaneous quantum correlations with those structures themselves. This would mean that the universe isn't just a collection of isolated regions separated by uncrossable distances. It would be a single, quantum mechanically integrated system in which consciousness plays a fundamental role in maintaining cosmic unity. And here's the truly staggering implication. If consciousness can quantum entangle across cosmic distances, then maybe we're already in communication with conscious beings in other galaxies. Maybe the universe is filled with a quantum network of awareness that transcends all physical limitations. We've journeyed through physics, cosmology, quantum mechanics, and consciousness. We've seen how every law of nature conspires to keep us trapped within our galaxy. But we've also discovered something extraordinary. This imprisonment might be the key to our ultimate transcendence. Let me share with you the most profound realization of all. By fully accepting that we can never leave the Milky Way, we discover that we never needed to leave in the first place. Everything we could possibly want from the universe, beauty, complexity, meaning, transcendence, already exists within our cosmic home. Our galaxy contains approximately 400 billion stars, each potentially surrounded by planets, moons, asteroids, and comets. Even if we could only explore our own galaxy for the next billion years, we would never exhaust the wonders it contains. Every star system is a universe of possibilities. Every planet is a laboratory of physics and chemistry. Every moon is a museum of cosmic history. But here's what makes our situation even more remarkable. We don't just live in the galaxy. We are expressions of the galaxy's own creativity and consciousness. Every human achievement, every work of art, every scientific discovery, every moment of love and compassion, these are all the galaxy learning to express itself through conscious beings. When Beethoven composed his symphonies, the galaxy was making music. When Einstein formulated relativity, the galaxy was understanding itself. When you feel wonder looking at the stars, the galaxy is experiencing wonder at its own beauty. This is the deepest truth about our cosmic imprisonment. We're not separate beings trapped inside a galaxy. We are the galaxy itself, evolved to the point where it can contemplate its own existence. Our thoughts are the galaxy's thoughts. Our discoveries are the galaxy's self-discoveries. Our consciousness is the galaxy's consciousness. And this realization transforms everything. You're no longer a tiny, insignificant speck in a vast, uncaring universe. You're a crucial participant in the most important project in cosmic history, the universe coming to understand itself through conscious observation. Here's the final revelation that reframes our entire discussion. By being unable to leave our galaxy, we've been forced to discover something far more valuable than galactic colonization could ever be. We've discovered that consciousness itself is the most precious and powerful force in existence. Physical travel can take you from one place to another, but consciousness can take you from one level of being to another. Technology can extend your reach across space, but understanding can extend your significance across time. Spaceships can carry your body to distant worlds, but awareness can carry your essence to infinite depths of meaning. And here's what makes this absolutely beautiful. Every limitation we've discussed, the speed of light, cosmic expansion, quantum uncertainty, energy requirements, every single barrier that imprisons us physically actually serves to concentrate and intensify consciousness rather than diminish it. Think about it. If travel were instantaneous and effortless, would we value destinations? If energy were infinite and free, would we appreciate the intricate processes that create complexity? If time had no meaning and distance no significance, would we find beauty in the precise choreography of cosmic evolution? Our limitations aren't bugs in the cosmic operating system. They're features that make consciousness possible, meaningful, and profound. Without scarcity, there could be no value. Without boundaries, there could be no definition. Without challenges, there could be no growth. You exist during the brief cosmic moment when consciousness is possible, in the narrow range of temperatures and pressures and energy densities, where complex structures can form and persist. You exist in the only galaxy you'll ever know, surrounded by wonders that would take billions of lifetimes to fully explore and appreciate. And most remarkably, you exist with the cognitive capacity to understand your situation, to grasp the physics of your imprisonment and the meaning of your significance. You can comprehend scales from quantum to cosmic, timeframes from nanoseconds to geological ages, concepts from pure mathematics to artistic beauty. Here's the thought that should fundamentally change how you see yourself and your place in existence. You are not a prisoner in the galaxy. You are the galaxy's greatest achievement. For 13 billion years, the Milky Way was a collection of gas, dust, and gravity. Beautiful, complex, but unconscious. It created stellar nurseries and planetary systems, forged heavy elements and scattered them through space, built intricate structures spanning hundreds of thousands of light years. But it couldn't appreciate any of it. Then, through processes we still don't fully understand, matter organized itself into patterns complex enough to become aware. Life emerged, evolved, and eventually produced consciousness. The galaxy developed the ability to observe itself, understand itself, find meaning in its own existence. You represent the culmination of this 13 billion-year evolutionary process. Through your consciousness, the galaxy can contemplate its own beauty, understand its own physics, appreciate its own significance. You are literally the universe becoming self-aware. And here's the most mind-blowing part. This self-awareness doesn't just observe the galaxy, it changes the galaxy. Every scientific discovery, every work of art, every moment of understanding represents the galaxy evolving into something more than it was before. Through consciousness, the cosmos transforms from a collection of unconscious matter into a self-aware, self-modifying, self-creating system. This is why our cosmic imprisonment is actually our cosmic liberation. We're not trapped in the galaxy. We are the galaxy, evolved to the point where it can transcend its physical limitations through consciousness and understanding. When you look up at the stars tonight, you won't see a prison anymore. You'll see your own body, extended across space and time, made luminous with the fire of nuclear fusion. You'll see your own mind, distributed across billions of stellar systems, learning to understand itself through the miracle of conscious observation. You'll see home, not just the planet where you were born, not just the solar system where you evolved, but the entire galaxy that created you and continues to sustain you and will forever be the sealess canvas on which consciousness paints its masterpiece of understanding. As we reach the end of our journey together, I want you to carry this understanding with you. Your cosmic significance doesn't come from escaping your limitations. It comes from transcending them through consciousness, creativity, and compassion. You will never travel to another galaxy, but through your awareness, you can touch the infinite. You will never escape the physical constraints of space-time, but through your understanding, you can transcend every boundary that matters. You will never live long enough to see the ultimate fate of the cosmos, but through your consciousness, you can participate in the eternal dialogue between mind and reality. Every day you wake up conscious is a day when the universe gets to experience itself from a completely unique perspective. Every question you ask about existence is the cosmos inquiring into its own nature. Every moment of wonder, creativity, or love you experience is the galaxy celebrating its own evolution toward consciousness and meaning. This is the most empowering truth imaginable. You're not a cosmic accident struggling against indifferent forces. You're a cosmic achievement, the galaxy's own creation, designed specifically to understand and appreciate the very forces that shaped you. The laws of physics that imprison us physically are the same laws that liberate us intellectually. The cosmic forces that prevent intergalactic travel are the same forces that make consciousness possible. The universe that seems so vast and uncaring is actually perfectly calibrated to create beings capable of understanding, appreciating, and finding meaning in existence itself. So yes, you will never leave the Milky Way Galaxy, but you were never meant to leave. You were meant to be here now, conscious and aware, serving as the galaxy's own eyes and mind and heart. You were meant to look up at the stars and realize they're looking back at you, because in the deepest sense, you and they are the same thing, the universe becoming conscious of its own infinite beauty and significance. The next time someone asks you about the possibility of intergalactic travel, you can smile and tell them, we're already traveling through space at incredible speeds, on a journey far more meaningful than any science fiction ever imagined. We're riding through the cosmos on a planet, orbiting a star, in a galaxy that's not our prison. It's our home, our body, our mind, and our eternal destiny. And that journey, that cosmic adventure of consciousness exploring itself, is the only journey that has ever truly mattered. Thank you for taking this incredible journey with me. If this video has changed how you see your place in the cosmos, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more mind-bending explorations of our cosmic reality. And remember, you're not trapped in the universe. You are the universe, evolved to the point of self-awareness. What an absolutely incredible thing to be. Before you go, here's one final thought that will haunt you in the best possible way. If consciousness is the galaxy's way of understanding itself, and if you are an expression of galactic consciousness, then every dream you have about exploring the cosmos isn't just fantasy. It's the galaxy dreaming about exploring itself. Every science fiction story about intergalactic civilizations, every vision of humanity spreading across the universe, every hope for cosmic transcendence, these aren't impossible dreams. They're the galaxy using your imagination to explore possibilities for its own evolution. Maybe we can't physically travel to other galaxies, but through consciousness, creativity, and the boundless power of imagination, we're already there. We're already everywhere. We're already everything. And that, my friends, is why we will never leave the Milky Way, because we never needed to. We are the Milky Way, conscious and aware and eternally amazed at our own existence. Until next time, keep looking up, not as a prisoner gazing at the bars of your cell, but as the cosmos celebrating its own infinite beauty through your irreplaceable eyes. But wait, before you close this video thinking you understand the full scope of our cosmic situation, let me share something that will completely shatter everything we've discussed so far. What if I told you that our imprisonment in the Milky Way might be just the beginning of constraints we haven't even imagined yet? Recent discoveries in theoretical physics suggest that our entire understanding of space and dimensions might be fundamentally wrong. String theory, developed by brilliant minds like Edward Witten at the Institute for Advanced Study, proposes that reality consists of at least 10 or 11 dimensions, with most of them compactified or curled up so small we can't perceive them. Here's what will blow your mind. If string theory is correct, then our three-dimensional prison might actually be a projection from higher dimensional spaces we can't even access. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a two-dimensional being living on the surface of a piece of paper. You think you understand your entire universe, length and width. That's it. But unbeknownst to you, your paper universe is actually sitting in a three-dimensional room filled with other pieces of paper, books, furniture, and countless objects you can't even conceive of because you lack the dimensional capacity to perceive them. This is potentially our situation. We're trapped not just in our galaxy, but in our dimensionality itself. There might be entire universes existing in parallel dimensions just millimeters away from you right now, but separated by barriers in higher dimensional space that make our galactic imprisonment seem trivial by comparison. Lisa Randall at Harvard has calculated that gravity itself might be leaking into these extra dimensions, which could explain why it's so much weaker than other fundamental forces. If she's right, then the very force that keeps our galaxy together is being drained away into dimensional spaces we can never access. But here's the truly mind-bending part. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that consciousness might actually have access to these higher dimensions, even if our physical bodies don't. The many worlds interpretation, developed by Hugh Everett III, proposes that every quantum measurement creates a branching of reality into parallel universes. If this is true, then your consciousness might already be experiencing multiple versions of reality simultaneously, including versions where humanity has somehow escaped our galaxy, where the laws of physics work differently, where consciousness has evolved along completely different pathways. Your sense of being trapped in this one timeline, in this one galaxy, might be just one thread in an infinite tapestry of parallel experiences. This raises a question that should keep you awake at night. Which version of reality is the real one? Are you experiencing the universe where we're truly trapped, or just one possibility among infinite alternatives? And if multiple realities exist simultaneously, what does our imprisonment even mean? Speaking of time, let's explore the most insidious aspect of our cosmic imprisonment, one that makes our spatial constraints seem almost trivial by comparison. We've talked about being trapped in space, but what about being trapped in time? Einstein's relativity revealed that time isn't the universal constant we thought it was. Time dilation effects mean that time literally runs differently depending on your speed and gravitational environment. But here's what most people don't realize. This doesn't just affect space travel. It fundamentally limits our ability to experience the full timeline of cosmic evolution. Consider this terrifying fact. Even if we could somehow achieve immortality and observe the universe for trillions of years, we would still experience only an infinitesimally small fraction of cosmic time. The universe is approximately 13.8 billion years old, but cosmologists predict it will continue existing for approximately 100 years before reaching maximum entropy. Think about what this means. The current age of the universe, from the Big Bang until now, represents only
The universe's total timeline.
We exist during the very first instant of cosmic history, like bacteria emerging in the first microsecond of a day that will last for billions of years. But here's where it gets truly mind-bending. Due to the accelerating expansion of the universe driven by dark energy, most of cosmic history will be completely inaccessible to observation. Future civilizations living trillions of years from now will inhabit a universe where all other galaxies have been carried beyond the cosmic horizon. They'll have no way to discover that other galaxies ever existed, no way to learn about the Big Bang, no way to understand their cosmic origins. We live during the only epoch in cosmic history when the universe is comprehensible. Earlier, and it was too hot and chaotic for complexity to exist. Later, and it will be too empty and isolated for civilizations to understand their cosmic context. We exist in a narrow window of cosmic time, perhaps only a few, tens of billions of years, when consciousness can arise and the universe can understand itself. This temporal imprisonment is even more absolute than our spatial imprisonment. We can at least imagine technologies that might theoretically overcome spatial constraints, but nothing can overcome temporal constraints. The past is absolutely inaccessible, and most of the future will be equally unreachable due to cosmic expansion. Yet here's the beautiful paradox. By being trapped in this narrow slice of cosmic time, we exist during the universe's most creative, complex, and meaningful epoch. We're not missing out on cosmic history. We are cosmic history, unfolding in real time. Now let's explore our imprisonment from a completely different angle, one that might be the most fundamental of all. What if the real barriers preventing us from leaving our galaxy aren't physical, but informational? Claude Shannon's information theory, developed in the 1940s, revealed something profound about the nature of reality. Information has physical properties. It takes energy to create information, store information, and transmit information. And here's the crucial point. There are fundamental limits to how much information can be processed or transmitted by any physical system. Consider what would be required to navigate to another galaxy. You would need to process astronomical amounts of information about cosmic conditions, stellar positions, gravitational fields, radiation environments, and countless other variables across millions of light-years of space and millions of years of time. The computational requirements would be staggering. But here's where it gets truly mind-bending. According to physicist Seth Lloyd at MIT, there are fundamental quantum mechanical limits to computation. The universe itself can be thought of as a giant quantum computer, and this cosmic computer has finite processing power. There's literally a limit to how much information can be processed using all the matter and energy in the observable universe. Lloyd's calculations suggest that the observable universe could perform at most 10,120 operations on 1,090 bits of information since the Big Bang. This sounds like a lot, but when you consider the information processing requirements for interstellar navigation, communication, and survival, these cosmic computational limits become genuinely constraining. Think about it this way. Every atom in your spacecraft, every photon in your communication systems, every quantum interaction in your computers, they're all drawing from the universe's finite information processing budget. Navigate to another galaxy, and you're literally consuming a significant fraction of the computational capacity of reality itself. But here's what will absolutely blow your mind. Some physicists propose that consciousness itself might be the universe's way of maximizing information processing efficiency. Instead of spreading matter and energy thinly across vast distances, evolution concentrates them into highly organized structures, brains, that can process enormous amounts of information in small volumes of space. If this is true, then consciousness isn't limited by the universe's computational constraints. It's the universe's solution to those constraints. By evolving conscious observers, the cosmos maximizes its own information processing capacity within the fundamental limits imposed by physics. This suggests something extraordinary. Our imprisonment in the galaxy might actually be the universe optimizing itself for maximum consciousness and information processing. We're not trapped despite the cosmos. We're trapped because consciousness is the most efficient way for the universe to understand itself. Here's a question that reveals the deepest paradox of our cosmic imprisonment. If the universe is so vast, containing billions of galaxies with trillions of potentially habitable worlds, why does our imprisonment feel so lonely? The answer touches on something profound about the nature of consciousness and cosmic evolution. Enrico Fermi's famous paradox, "Where is everybody?" takes on new meaning when we understand the physics of galactic imprisonment. If every civilization faces the same constraints we do, then the universe might be teeming with conscious observers who are all trapped in their respective galaxies, forever unable to communicate across intergalactic distances. But here's what makes this both tragic and beautiful. This cosmic isolation might be exactly what's necessary for consciousness to develop its full potential. Think about it like this. If communication across the universe were easy and instantaneous, would individual civilizations ever develop unique perspectives, unique art, unique understandings of reality? Isolation breeds creativity. Constraints foster innovation. The fact that we can never truly communicate with hypothetical alien civilizations in other galaxies means that each pocket of consciousness in the universe develops its own irreplaceable perspective on existence. Carl Sagan once said, "The cosmos is within us." We are made of star stuff, but there's a deeper truth here. Each galaxy's consciousness is unique and irreplaceable. The specific sequence of stellar evolution, planetary formation, and biological development that led to human consciousness on Earth can never be exactly replicated anywhere else in the universe. This means that your consciousness, shaped by the specific history of our galaxy and our planet, represents a completely unique perspective on reality that has never existed before and will never exist again. You're not just one conscious observer among many. You're the universe experiencing itself from a perspective that is literally impossible to duplicate. Here's what should fill you with wonder rather than loneliness. If there are indeed other conscious civilizations in other galaxies, each trapped in their own cosmic islands, then the universe is not experiencing one form of consciousness. It's experiencing billions or trillions of completely unique forms of awareness, each offering an irreplaceable perspective on the nature of existence. Our cosmic loneliness isn't a bug, it's a feature. It ensures that consciousness remains diverse, creative, and irreplaceably unique across the cosmos. Now I want to share with you the most mind-bending possibility of all, one that could completely reframe everything we've discussed about cosmic imprisonment. What if the ultimate transcendence of our galactic boundaries doesn't involve leaving the galaxy at all? but rather transforming it into something unrecognizable? Consider the trajectory of intelligence on Earth. In just a few million years, human consciousness has gone from using simple tools to understanding quantum mechanics and manipulating matter at the atomic level. We've learned to store vast amounts of information in microscopic devices, create artificial intelligences that can process information faster than biological brains, and engineer life forms that never existed in nature. Now project this trajectory forward, not just thousands or millions of years, but billions of years. What might consciousness become given such vast stretches of time to evolve and develop? Freeman Dyson, the brilliant physicist who proposed the concept of Dyson spheres, suggested that sufficiently advanced civilizations might eventually restructure entire star systems to maximize energy capture and computational capacity. But what if that's just the beginning? What if truly advanced consciousness could learn to manipulate matter and energy on galactic scales? What if they could engineer stellar evolution, guide the formation of planetary systems, even influence the distribution of dark matter throughout the galaxy? Such a civilization wouldn't need to leave the galaxy. They would become the galaxy. Every star would be a component in a vast computational system. Every planet would be a node in a galactic brain. Every black hole would be an information processing center operating on scales we can barely imagine. From the perspective of such galactic scale consciousness, the question of escaping the galaxy would be meaningless. You don't escape from yourself. You don't leave your own body. The galaxy would have evolved into a single, integrated, conscious system. One mind distributed across hundreds of billions of stars and trillions of planets. And here's the truly staggering implication. This transformation might already be beginning. Every time humans build a computer network, create an artificial intelligence, or establish communication systems that span continents, we're taking the first tiny steps toward integrating consciousness on larger and larger scales. The internet is already a primitive form of distributed intelligence connecting billions of human minds. Imagine this process continuing for millions of years, consciousness gradually integrating, expanding, evolving, until it encompasses the entire galaxy. From this perspective, our current sense of being trapped in the galaxy is just a temporary phase in the evolution of cosmic consciousness. We're not prisoners, we're seeds, slowly growing into something magnificent beyond our current ability to imagine. As we approach the end of our incredible journey together, I want to leave you with the most profound realization of all. Understanding why we can never leave the Milky Way isn't depressing. It's the key to understanding why existence is meaningful in the first place. Every limitation we've discussed, the speed of light, cosmic expansion, energy constraints, quantum uncertainty, dimensional barriers, temporal boundaries, computational limits, every single constraint serves a purpose. They don't prevent meaning from emerging. They create the conditions that make meaning possible. Think about it. In a universe without limitations, nothing would have significance. If travel were instantaneous, no journey would have meaning. If energy were infinite, no achievement would require effort. If time had no constraints, no moment would be precious. If space had no boundaries, no place would be special. Our cosmic imprisonment gives weight to our choices, meaning to our achievements, poignancy to our brief moments of consciousness. We exist during a narrow window of cosmic possibility, in a small region of one galaxy among billions, for a fleeting instant in cosmic time. And this isn't a limitation, it's what makes existence beautiful. Every sunset you witness is beautiful, partly because you'll only see a limited number of them. Every human connection you make is precious partly because your time with others is finite. Every moment of understanding you achieve is meaningful, partly because knowledge must be earned through effort and constrained by the limits of time and space. The universe didn't make us prisoners. It made us participants in the most incredible adventure imaginable, the adventure of consciousness discovering itself within the elegant constraints that make discovery possible. And here's the ultimate truth that should transform how you see your place in existence. You are not small and insignificant in a vast, uncaring universe. You are the universe itself, evolved to the point where it can contemplate its own beauty and meaning through your consciousness. Every thought you think is the cosmos thinking. Every emotion you feel is the galaxy feeling. Every wonder you experience at the beauty of existence is the universe marveling at its own incredible nature. You don't need to escape the Milky Way to find meaning and transcendence. You are the Milky Way's meaning and transcendence, made manifest in conscious form. This is why we will never leave the galaxy, and why that's the most wonderful truth imaginable. We were never meant to leave. We were meant to be here, now, awake and aware, serving as the galaxy's own consciousness and the universe's own way of understanding itself. And that, my friends, is not a prison sentence. It's the most magnificent destiny any being could ever hope for. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember, you're not looking at a prison. You're looking at yourself, vast, beautiful, conscious, and eternally connected to the cosmic dance of matter and energy that created you and continues to sustain you every moment of your existence. Welcome home, fellow travelers. Welcome to the most amazing place in the universe, the galaxy that dreamed you into existence so it could know itself through your irreplaceable eyes. If this journey has expanded your understanding of cosmic reality, please share it with others who are ready to see their place in the universe with new eyes. Subscribe for more explorations into the deepest mysteries of existence. And remember, you are not trapped in the cosmos. You are the cosmos, magnificently aware of its own infinite beauty and meaning.